Brock Lesnar and John Cena are going to have their final match at WrestlePalooza. But in this video, I decided to put Brock Lesnar versus John Cena in every WWE game. Who's the better man? Well, let's find out. Well, of course, we're starting off with the ultimate banger of bangers, SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. And the overalls reflect that fact. John Cena is at a mid-ass 75 overall, and Brock is at a big boy 91. Oof. But knowing how overpowered Brock Lesnar is, I wanted to give John Cena a shot. So I put them in a 3 stages of hell match with different gimmick matches that could play to Cena getting an advantage. So the matches we picked are a cage match, a TLC match, and a Hell in a Cell if we get that far. How did it go for Cena? Was he able to overcome the odds? Well, in the first match, John Cena is already at orange health, not even a minute in. Yeah. John's like, oh, please save me, brother, but yeah, no. Brock nails an F5 to put Cena out of his misery and almost climbs out, but Cena sends Brock crashing down to the mat, and he takes 0 damage from this. Proceeds to beat the crap out of John Cena again before getting another F5 in, and then Lesnar climbs out easy peasy. Now that match is over, we jump into the second match, and John is frankly screwed. Like, look at that damage. Oh my god. I also forgot TLC matches in these older games are pinfall only, so that's cool. Anyways, despite Cena wanting to never give up, he was no match in his current condition for the next big thing, and after getting sent through a table, an F5 acts as a mercy killing for John Cena, and Brock Lesnar takes the first win here pretty easily. 1-0. But wait, this wasn't the only game that these two were in during 2003, because we've got Raw 2 on the original Xbox. Back then, rather than having one game for each console, there were separate games for each console. And that's how we have Raw 2. Despite the slowness, it runs well enough on my emulator, and unlike Here Comes the Pain, there are no overalls in this game, so things should be equal, in theory. And since we didn't see it in the last game, we're going to be making this match a Hell in a Cell. I've never seen a Hell in a Cell in this game, so I thought this would be cool to see what kind of destruction could be done. However, it turned out to be the crappiest, most boring Hell in a Cell I've ever seen in a WWE game. Why? Well, it's because the cell wasn't used at all. Hell, there weren't even any weapons used. The game's ring is huge, humongous. So they just stayed in the ring, and when they tumbled outside, they just got back in and fought again. The only saving grace was that John Cena was able to put up a fight, and the two had a good back and forth match. Cena almost picked up the win with a perfect plex, and even got an instant replay on the Tron, which is pretty cool. I wonder why that's not in the games. John then tries to go for multiple pins after taking Lesnar down to end it as fast as possible. But in the end, Brock would prove to be too much, and after botching an axe handle, he kicks Cena down to the mat and win with a 1-2-3 cover. No victory animation, but you know what? Congrats to Brock Lesnar. He wins again. Record 2-0. Remember when I said having one game for each console? Well, there was one more console in this generation. WrestleMania 19 on the GameCube, and these two chuckle fucks are in the game, so we're doing it. However, this game is different, and also known for one reason: Revenge Mode. If you want to know Revenge Mode, here it is in a nutshell. You get fired, work for Stephanie McMahon, then go on to ruin WrestleMania by unaliving a bunch of minimum paid workers. Yeah, not even the bigwigs, just your average Joe. What a piece of shit, huh? Then finally you get your revenge on Vince McMahon and you win! Yay! Since I played and beat it, I have all of the stages unlocked, so we're gonna put these two in an actual real death match. 2 men in the middle of the ocean, stranded, and only one can survive. So, major problem here is that typically you chuck your opponent off a ledge to end them, but because they're trapped, neither man could do that, and the AI is too stupid for them to break out. So we got a 20-minute war. Despite there being no overalls, Cena was demolished. But he never gives up, and these two gladiators go at it. However, this fight ends really badly. Alright, here we go. John Cena's got to finish. Will he be able to hit it? Wait, Brock goes with the belly buddy. No! Are you fucking kidding me? A draw? Well, we could stop it here, but you know what? Fuck that. Draw my ass. And just for the hell of it, I decided to play the other 4 revenge stages to see who would actually win the most. So let's start with the parking lot with the goal of throwing someone into traffic. Fortunately, this was pretty quick. Alright, here we go. Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. Whoever gets thrown in front of the car first wins. Cracks Cena. Cena, look at this. Wait a minute. Oh, it's over! Wow. John Cena wins in a record 12 seconds. Cena won. Hooray. Unfortunately, the rest of these wouldn't go well for John Cena. The first one was a match in a warehouse where a belt was hanging on a pole. A belt on a pole match? There you go, Hunter. That's your booking next match. There's so much here. Both guys have to use wooden boxes as a platform, then climb the platform, get on the pole, and swing and pray you hit the belt. And that's the match. They miss, fall down, get back up, and try again, and in the end, Brock swings and gets the belt 1-1. Next map is a shopping mall where both men have to destroy one another's cars, and Brock easily wins because Cena just doesn't care. And is like, Brock, please destroy my car, and he did it. And the final map is a construction zone where the goal is to chuck the other guy to their doom the most. And after 10 minutes, Brock Lesnar wins with 4 unalivings. Yep. So with a 3-1-1 record, Brock wins this game and puts his record overall at 3-0. Now that all the side games are done, Brock does leave in 2004 and leaves WWE games in general for many years. While Lesnar's journey came to an end, John Cena's journey to the top began, and by 2011, John Cena became the top face of WWE. But after Brock Lesnar's stint in the UFC, Brock would come back in 2012. However, Brock Lesnar would make his WWE games return in WWE 12, which came out in 2011. Brock Lesnar is back with a 92 overall, and John Cena is now on equal playing field with a 95. We also are going to spin a wheel for the match type, and the first wheel spin lands on a last man standing match. Now you'd think that, oh, this is going to be a grueling, brutal, violent match. Well, if you thought that, then you would be wrong, because the match was none of that. Cena is a much higher overall, so this match was a shit ton of counters everywhere. Just everywhere, man, and half of the offense was literally just counting each other's moves. And in a 4-minute match with no weapons and one F5 followed up by a power slam, and that is it. John Cena cannot make the count, and that's it. I gotta give Brock props. He's keeping these matches short so he can come in, win, get paid, and leave. Too bad John Cena is still a loser. 4-0. Alright, we're moving on to the next game, which is WWE 13, and Brock Lesnar in this game is still sitting at a 92 overall. Why? Well, probably because John Cena buried him in his first match back and had one more match where he broke Triple H's arm. So, I guess it breaks even. Get it? Because he broke his arm? Okay, I'll stop. As for John Cena, he ended up at a whopping 96, which fits. You spin the wheel, and it's an Extreme Rules match, and the first thing I'll say is that this match isn't a squash, and the 2 men in the first 5 minutes actually go at it, and of course, counters galore. But they go outside, and both men grab weapons, where Brock wins it out with a crutch. They walk around the ring a bit till Cena throws Lesnar into the steps, and then shellacks Lesnar with a table. Cena gets bored and tries to whack Lesnar with a ladder, but they counter one another till Cena spears Lesnar through a barricade. Brock also gets cut open and the lights go out like it's 1995, and Brock hits an F5 with them out, which seems appropriate, but Cena kicks out. Afterwards, both men are back out and Cena tries to drench Lesnar in Coca-Cola, but then gets tossed into the steel steps with a fallaway slam, and now we got another bleeder. They go to the bottom of the ring, both carrying weapons, and Cena gets the edge here. Both men are back in the ring, and John tries for an AA, but it's countered, and Lesnar slams John into a guitar, and then locks on a Kimura, but John is able to break out of the Kimura, nail the attitude adjustment, 1, 2, 3, it is over. John Cena finally wins a match, a miracle, 4-1. The next game is WWE 2K14, and their overalls in this game, Brock is at a 91, I don't know how, it gets worse for him. And John Cena's at a 95. We spin the wheel and it lands on a ladder match, so that's what we're doing. The first few minutes start out pretty normally, till Brock goes outside for a ladder and brings it in the ring. Cena tries to win quickly after he punches Brock to the outside and almost pulls it off, but eventually Lesnar's able to take it back down. John recovers and nails an attitude adjustment. but for some reason doesn't want the title until Lesnar just tips over the ladder. Brock sends Cena to Suplex City and looks to win it all. Cena no-sells it and pops back up only to get superplexed back down. Brock climbs up and ends up hanging till Cena powerbombs him down and then does his comeback maneuver, shoulder block, duck the clothesline, punch, picks him up, attitude adjustment, and that is it. He gets the belt, and now we're at 4-2. Alright, we're moving on to W2K15 on last gen. And overalls in this game are Brock at a 94 and Cena at a 96. I believe this is when Brock Lesnar killed the streak. So yeah, it pretty much increases the overall. We spin the wheel and it ends up being a normal match. But I added a twist where both men had infinite finishers, so this is what happened. Straight out of the gate, Cena gets Brock in the corner and superplexes him to the outside of the ring. John runs back in and almost wins by countout, but Brock somehow breaks the count after the superplex. And then he eats an AA instantly, but he kicks out. The two men head outside and another attitude adjustment is hit onto Lesnar, and then the two men are back in the ring, and look at that, an F5 from Brock Lesnar. But Cena kicks out, and then a fourth attitude adjustment, and that is the game. John Cena picking up another win. He's really starting to climb back now. Moving on to the 8th generation of consoles, starting with WWE 2K16. Brock is at 94 again, and Cena is at 95, so pretty even, right? The wheel spin lands on something that's supposed to be fun, a Hell in a Cell match. Now, the last time we had one of these, it was kind of dreadful. But is this one any better? I mean, not really. Like, the good news is that there was a weapon, and I actually mean a weapon as in one. The gameplay is incredibly slowed down, and the guys wrestle like they're in quicksand, so unfortunately it's pretty boring. And also they take like 0 bumps on the outside, so that's cool. But inside the cell they go at it for a good 10 minutes, and the match ends with one attitude adjustment from John Cena. 1, 2, 3. And John Cena wins again. The record is tied at 4-4. Speaking of unexciting games, WWE 2K17. The overalls, Brock is sitting at a 95 and John Cena at a 93. We spin the wheel and it's Extreme Rules. Nice, so sounds like we're going to be getting a cool match. What do you think is going to happen? You'd be wrong, of course. Instead, we got a 3-minute squash with 0 finishers from either man, and it ended in the most anticlimactic way possible. One elbow drop, John Cena's brain de-wires, and then another elbow drop, and that's it. 1, 2, 3, that's the game. That's actually it. The only interesting part was that Cena has now taken the lead at 4-5. Alright, time to move on to WWE 2K18. Another meh 2K game. Like, Jesus, 2 in a row? Are you kidding me? Anyways, Brock's overall in this game is a 93, and Cena's is a 93. Oh wow, they're even. Cool. And it's time for a new match type that hopefully isn't boring. It ends up being another Extreme Rules match. The two men start off exchanging in some graps with one another, and John does his own Suplex City. Eventually they head outside, and John grabs a baseball bat and cracks Lesnar in the head with it. Lesnar no-sells it and takes back controls and pummels Cena with the baseball bat in the face. But out of nowhere, Cena counters and does a Michinoku driver for a pin and a kickout. Cena gets Lesnar in the corner and does a superplex. Cena goes outside and grabs a ladder, but it doesn't work, and the two trade the ladder back and forth before a code red and a 5-knuckle shuffle from John Cena. He calls up Lesnar for the attitude adjustment, signaling the end, but it's countered into an impaler onto the ladder. Brock taunts in the corner like he's impressed with himself and calls up Cena for an F5 that gets countered into a neckbreaker. John Cena then powerbombs Brock Lesnar and calls him up for one more attempt into the attitude adjustment, but once again it's countered, takes a trip to Suplex City. Lesnar is able to hit the F5. 1, 2, 3. Lesnar wins and ties it up again 5-5. We're moving on to WWE 2K19, a fan favorite minus the god-awful menu screen. Whoever designed this should be fired. Anyways, the overalls in this game are Brock Lesnar at a 93 and John Cena at a surprising 89. Damn, that's kind of mean. We spin the wheel and it determines we'll be doing a submission match. And for the hell of it, I decided to enable big head mode because 2K was like, well, we can't go back to the goofiness of the past, so here's big head mode. It is kind of ridiculous, but I guess it's kind of fun. Although I'll admit this is pretty cursed. You know, this is gonna haunt children's dreams. Back to the match, and the big head mode makes this shit super unserious. Any move just looks weird, but that's how it is. The match is a back and forth affair, and after 15 minutes, Brock locks on one more camel clutch to make Cena give up. The man that's never supposed to give up, gives up. 6-5. Alright, believers, it's time to ruin the vibes because WWE 2K20 has arrived. Overalls in this game are the exact same as last year. Brock 93, Cena 89. The match type that we're going to get is a steel cage match. Well, other cage matches so far have kind of sucked ass, so will this one be any different? The match starts out with some offense before Brock does a backbreaker and goes for a cover, but Cena kicks out and Lesnar tries to get out. It doesn't work, and John takes over for a bit before Brock gets some offense in, and the two-men trade counter for counter and offense for offense till Brock Germans Cena on his neck and goes for another escape. Brock gets to the top before Cena stops him, and this gets incredibly boring. Lesnar drops down, they punch each other, climb back up, punch some more, and then Lesnar chucks Cena off the cage. It's gotta be over, right? Well, no. Lesnar's close, but is stopped right before he gets out, and they legit replay the same exact thing on the cage multiple times, but Cena is the one that chucks Lesnar off the cage. Brock makes it back, and Cena then kicks Lesnar off the cage. It gets so close, but Lesnar with a millisecond left saves the match. Then they repeat the process a few more times, like almost to a T. And then Lesnar sends Cena back down to the ring, climbs over, drops down, and picks up the win in the first steel cage match. Record is 7-5. Well, 2K21 would have been in this slot, but unfortunately that got cancelled for obvious reasons. So they made 2K Battlegrounds to fill the void, but I am not buying that crap, alright? So we're playing Wrestling Empire instead. Now, because this is modded Wrestling Empire, every match in this game is basically a death match. Like, actual death match. People actually dying. First match, and there's coffins on the outside, which, that is not a good sign, alright? And the arena is also flooded. Like, what is this, the NWA? Well, the match is probably the shortest match in Wrestling Empire history. Cena gets in the ring, locks on an armbar before the match, and wins in a record 4 seconds. Incredible. But, you know what? Screw it. We're making a 2 out of 3 falls match because it's not ending like this. So our second match is the same but with different objects. John tries for a 450 splash, but he tears everything in his groin. And yeah, everything. Probably. Brock then suplexes him down, and that's it. In like 18 seconds. Unfortunately for John, he has to do one more match in this cursed game. The final match is, of course, a cage match. What else is new? The good news, both men make it to the ring unscathed. Bad news, Brock thinks it's a cool idea to do a shooting star press because that never went wrong in the past at all. But somehow, this is worse. Yeah, Brock Lesnar does a shooting star and loses an arm on impact, losing a lot of blood, and Cena is easily able to escape over the cage and win while Lesnar is just bleeding out on the mat. Yeah, we might want to cut this. 7-6. Well, we're back to WWE 2K with WWE 2K22. Yippee! Overalls, Brock Lesnar is at a 94 and John Cena at a 92. The wheel is spun and it lands on a tables match. Match starts out with the two guys trading offense till Brock power slams Cena and then heads outside for a table. Lesnar comes back in the ring and Cena does his comeback maneuver. You all know what it is. I don't have to explain it. Brock comes back for another power slam, but Cena counters and eventually heads to the outside to grab a table. Lesnar just whacks Cena with one of them, and after setting it up, wants to put him through it, but Cena back body drops Lesnar and almost punches Lesnar through the table, but it just fell over. Cena goes after Lesnar before Brock just rolls through it and then grabs Cena, T-bone suplexes through the partially set up table, and that's it. That's it. That's the match. Now the record is at 8-6, which is getting pretty bleak. Alright, the next WWE game is WWE 2K23, and the overalls in this game are Brock Lesnar is at the 97, which is the highest I believe he's ever been at. And John Cena is at a 94 despite being the cover star. We spin the wheel and it lands on a tables, ladders, and chairs match. And this one is actually with the belt on the line. Who would have thought? You know, not a pinfall. Like, here comes the pain. And the Universal Championship is on the line. After trading a hip toss for a back body drop, both men go to the outside and Cena sends Lesnar into the steps and the ladder before taking it in the ring. Lesnar then punches down Cena and then Germans him across the ring. Lesnar then sets up the ladder and kicks him down. John Cena rolls out, rolls back in, and stops Lesnar from getting the belt. Brock Lesnar grabs him and tries to take him out, but John Cena reverses and body drops Lesnar out of the ring, which gives Cena the opportunity to get the belt. Unfortunately for him, Lesnar's back up and pushes the ladder over and catches him with an electric chair drop. And then we enter a repetitive cycle for a bit. Guy climbs up, guy gets taken down, repeat. It kind of sucks. They do mix it up a bit, hitting their signatures and their finishers. However, this all comes to an end when Brock nails one F5, climbs the ladder, grabs the title, and takes it down. Brock Lesnar wins the actual TLC match, 9-6. Well, the next game is supposed to be WWE 2K24, but Brock Lesnar was removed due to the Janelle Grant lawsuit. Now, while I can just download a CAW, that's kind of boring. So let's use another game outside of the WWE games bubble, and that's Fire Pro Wrestling World. There aren't that many match types, but they are all different. So we're going to spin a wheel to determine which one we get, and of course, it's inside a cage. I guess it's appropriate to end this with a cage match, you know? Just perfect. All of them kind of sucked, so let's see if this one actually be a good cage. The two men start out the match by exchanging a series of grabs, strikes, and suplexes. Oh my. This goes on for a few minutes till Lesnar Germans Cena, but both get taken out by it. I've never seen that before, but okay. And then they go punch for punch, blow for blow until Lesnar gets the edge. And after a belly-to-belly, Brock gets the F5, but it's escape only, so he just suplexes him some more and F5 Cena once again. But John Cena never gives up and takes down Lesnar with a club and then an STF. But you have to escape the cage, John. Both men are back up and Lesnar clubs Cena down, climbs up the cage, and Cena tries to follow him to beat him, but it's too late and Brock Lesnar wins the final cage match. And Cena is just hanging there, you know? I guess he's just shocked by his loss, so yeah. Record 10-6. Well, we finally made it to the most recent game, WWE 2K25. Now, of course, Lesnar is not a part of this roster due to the previous lawsuit. At least, right now. Because apparently, he's going to be DLC in October of 2025. But it's not yet out, so we're going to be using a CAW for this, and we're going to have the final match at WrestlePalooza. No DQ, anything goes, this is it. Can Cena win the final match? Both men start off the match with Lesnar doing some suplexes and many punches. Eventually, John throws him to the outside, and of course, Triple H is the main character in the World Wrestling Federation, comes out to help John Cena, despite Lesnar trying to fight back, and he does in some aspects of this. The 2-on-1 situation, especially with the game involved, proves to be too much, and he just gets his ass beat. Don't worry, an unlikely hero is here to save the day. JBL, who doesn't like John Cena because he ended his one WWE title reign. Does it really work? Not really, no. Triple H just beats his ass and throws him out of the ring and pummels him. And after a 5-knuckle shuffle, Roman Reigns comes out to help Brock Lesnar. Odd, but okay. The funny thing, the tides have turned now, and now it's a 2-on-3 against Cena and Triple H. While Triple H is getting his cheeks clapped by two big hosses, which sounds kind of gay, but hey, you know what? It's wrestling. Brock then locks on a Kimura lock that Cena rolls out of, and then a comeback time. And you know the comeback. But afterwards, Cena gets clocked with the kendo stick twice. But luckily, Dwayne Johnson is back, surprisingly, and goes at it with JBL. As Cena is taking a trip to Suplex City, the Iron Sheik appears to save Cena from defeat. Then Lesnar gets put in the dreaded Camel Clutch. The match just then devolves into pure chaos, and Cena tries an AA, but it's blocked into an F5. Too bad he's on the outside, so you can't pin him. After brawling everywhere, Randy Orton comes out, and now it's just an old school knockdown drag-out fight. Eventually, Cena and Orton are in the ring and RKO out of nowhere, but Lesnar can't capitalize on it because he's out cold too. He gets on the apron and screams at him. Why? I don't know. And then it goes back to fighting everywhere around the ring, with Cena and Lesnar just trying to survive. Eventually, Cena and Lesnar are throwing punches, and JBL out of nowhere with a clothesline from hell. Lesnar almost steals it, but it's not enough to keep John Cena down. Brock gets Cena in a powerbomb position and transitions into an F5, which was super sick, but again, Cena kicks out, and Brock has had enough. He's ready to put this on the end. Brock locks out a Kimura, and for some reason, Triple H doesn't break it up, and Brock breaks John Cena's arm, tapping him out to end this challenge, and the final record is 11-6.
Bonus stage!
That's right, we got a bonus game for you, and we're going to be going back to the first game. We're going to be doing Here Comes the Pain and the match that never happened, the Hell in a Cell, but their overalls are both going to be at 100, so they have equal playing field, and there should be no way. It's going to be an absolutely insane match, and Brock Lesnar beat him in 2 minutes. Wow. Damn, John, you kind of suck. But at least Brock Lesnar had a good time. I mean, he's having a very, very good time. You know? Look at that. Alright, let's wrap it up. Well, if we're just looking at records, Brock Lesnar has won. Congratulations to Brock Lesnar for beating John Cena. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you like the video, subscribe to my channel, like the video, maybe comment down below who you think is going to win WrestlePalooza. And, well, I'll see you next time. Peace.